So I made it out to my car. As you can tell, I'm about to head to work, like I do a lot. But yesterday when I started my car, it started fine. I was heading to work as well, and then the car, it started revving to like 3,000 RPM at 50 miles per hour. It's having trouble shifting into third gear. So it was an unusual thing I've never had happen with this car. So I'm just gonna kind of give what it did. Hopefully it'll do it again today, because I'm not really sure what's wrong with it. So it had trouble when I got home last night. When I left for work, it had trouble starting. I had to push the gas in. So I'm kind of even a little bit worried it's not gonna make it. But I decided to drive it today, to see if I can get any indication of what might be wrong with it. Let's see if it has any trouble starting. Well, I had a little bit of a rough start, but fortunately I didn't have to push in the gas this time. So I'm gonna start going, and as I go, you might notice the RPM go to 3,000. I don't know if it'll do it today, but that's what it was doing yesterday. It would go to 3,000 RPM when I'd rev it up, and the car would go to 50 miles per hour, and then eventually when I got on a flat surface it would be fine. But it was an unusual thing in which I've never really had happen before. So let's see if it does it. Now I'm on this 2-lane road here. I can get some good speed going on this well-paved 2-lane road. So I'm going about 60 right now, and everything looks fine. But fortunately I had momentum. I didn't have to rev the engine up. But as I'm kind of going up this hill, you might notice a little bit, it sounds a little bit louder. Plus the needle on the RPM is going up more than it used to. So there's definitely something's not running completely right. I do think I'll make it to work today. However, the main issues are the starting up. When I rev up, I can't go very quickly from 0 to 60 like I would have been able to a week ago, and I should be able to. And also idling and starting off, it's kind of rough. It sounds a little bit rough when I'm starting off, which is unusual with this car. So there's been a few things that have gone wrong, but as you can tell, I'll show you in a minute, it does have 150,000 miles on it, and that's quite a bit for this 4-cylinder Chevy Malibu. I don't know, I was hoping to make it to at least 200,000, but you never know. Because I just got tires and the wheel bearing replaced, so I definitely think I'll hang on to this car and get this fixed if I have to. I'm gonna wait to get the oil changed, see if maybe that does something, but I don't know. So if you know Alliance at all, this is the last light that I have to go through. It looks like I just got it. So that was about the only light that I had. Now I have to go to Uniontown. So my trek through Alliance was good. Fortunately, I made it. Because I'd rather, if I were to conk out, not make it all the way to work, I would rather conk out on a road that's rural. It's soon going to go to a 2-lane road, than a road that was pretty crowded. Even in I work from 11 to 7:30 p.m. It's about 10:30 now. Even at 10:30, it's still pretty crowded, and in the middle of the day, later in the day, there's no spot to really pull off easily. So fortunately I made it through that spot, and now I'm just heading to the next really stop that I'll make is Greentown, and I have about half of Alliance to go through. It's not quite as crowded though, so I think I'll make it, given that I made it through Alliance, and I'm slightly less than halfway there now. So, but that was the hardest part. This was the hill that got me yesterday. This was the hill. This here was the hill that got me the other day. And I made it up but it went above 3,000 RPM. Today I kind of learned how to deal with it. Keep your speed up, and before you're going up the hill, because it's kind of in a valley. And then that way you can get momentum to go all the way up. I went to 2,500 today, but still it sounded bad, a lot worse than it normally does. But fortunately now I've made it into Greentown. There's one stoplight here in Greentown, and then there's about 5 more that I go through in Uniontown. I finally made it into where I work, so fortunately, at least I won't have an issue being late today. But still, I'm not real sure what the issue is. Since I've got a little bit of time here before I actually have to get into work, I figured I'd show you what the needle does here as I'm sitting in idle. So the needle's just kind of moving back and forth, like generally the needle just sits still, kind of like that, the miles per hour needle. But let's see when I rev it up. See, that generally it doesn't go above 2,000 RPM when I rev it up, but so it's still not running completely right. But I'm just glad I made it here today. Okay, so I just arrived here tonight after work, and gonna see if my car starts. Yep, it started. As another rough one though.